Yeah, so good morning, everybody. We're taking a correction to yesterday's exercise. Let's go straight to it. Correction. So, we're doing a correction to that. And the date is now. What are the questions? I think I'll need to have the questions, put the questions there. You can see the questions here, I'm sure. Number 9. Number 9 says, if you want it bolder. No. Yeah, these are the questions. Number 9 says, the distance between the opposite corners of a rectangular plot is 30 meters. The length of a plot is 24 meters. Calculate the breadth of a plot. Okay, let's have a rectangle here. This is the rectangle. That's a rectangle. And the question says the distance between the opposite corners. The opposite corners, that simply represents the diagonal of the rectangle. So that distance is 30 meters. That means the diagonal of the rectangle is of length 30 meters. The length of the plot is 24 meters. The length of the plot is 24 meters. Calculate the breadth of the plot. Length is 24 meters. That means this is 24 meters. And length be the breadth. So how do we find the breadth of the plot? I can simply bring out the right angle. Of course, each of the angles inside the rectangle is a right angle. So I'm bringing out I'm bringing out this right angle triangle. I'm bringing out this right angle triangle, as you can see. In that right angle triangle, this is B, and this is the diagonal, which is 30 meters, while this is the length, which is 24 meters. Now, how do you find the breadth of the plot? This right angle triangle, of course. In this right angle triangle, 30 squared, the hypotenuse squared, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So that means 900 equals 24 squared. 24 squared is 576 plus b squared. And that simply means I want you to, let's keep the question close as we move. Okay, sorry about that. I want the questions to be close to us as we go. Yeah, I think it's better that way. Yeah, so b 900 equals 576 plus b squared, and that simply means b squared equals 900 minus 576. I'm sure you understand that. Of course, that's not confusing at all. You can rewrite it as 576 plus b squared equals 900, which simply means b squared equals 900 minus 576, and that's 900 minus 576, that gives 324. So that means b b equals square root of 324, which is 18 meters. And we can say, therefore, the breadth the breadth of the plot is 18 meters. So that's number 9 simply. Now to number 10. Number 10, that says a wire 15 meters long is stretched tight from the top of a radio mast to a point on the horizontal ground. The distance of a point on the ground from the foot of the radio mast is 8 meters. How high is a radio mast above the level ground? All right, let's bring that close. Yeah. So let this be the radio mast. This is the top of the radio mast. T for top of radio mast, and this will be foot of the radio mast. The wire is stretched from the top of the radio mast to a point on the ground. Let that point on the ground be P. Now it says the wire is 15 meters. That means the distance from T to P is 15 meters, which represents the wire. And the distance of the point on the ground from the foot of the radio mast is 8 meters. That means from the foot of the mast to the point on the ground where the wire is stretched to is 8 meters. 8 meters. Now, what's the question? How high is a radio mast? That's TF, simply. We know that this is a right angle triangle. The mast stands upright, so it's perpendicular to the ground. TF is the height of the radio mast. So that simply means, let me call that X. Let me label TFX. And you can see that in right angle triangle PTF, PT is the hypotenuse, while PF and TF are the other two sides. So hypotenuse squared, 15 squared, is equal to X squared plus 8 squared. And that simply means X squared plus 8 squared equals 15 squared. And you can write that as X squared equals 15 squared minus 8 squared, which means 225 minus 64. And that means 225 minus 64, that's 161. So X is therefore the square root of 161, which is 12.689. And let's make that 12.69 to 2 decimal places. That's 12.69 meters. Therefore, the height of the mast, the height of the radio mast, let me bring the question down. Therefore, the height of the radio mast above the level ground is height of the radio mast is 12.69 meters. And that's it, very, very simply. We go to the next, number 11. I'm bringing the question down. What's number 11? Number 11 says, a student cycles from home to school, first eastwards to a road junction 12 kilometers from home, then southwards to school. If the school is 19 kilometers from home, how far is it from the road junction? Here they are talking about they want us to find out how far the school is from the road junction. So let's say, for example, this is the student's home. Let's do some. This is Sun's home, and it goes from this place eastwards. Of course, to your right is eastwards to a road junction, and that road junction is 12 kilometers from the home. So this is 12 kilometers. If this is the road junction, now it then cycles southwards to school. South is going to be in this direction, southwards to school. If this is school, for example, if this is school, then they said, okay, let that be school. If the school is 19 kilometers from home, this is school. 19 kilometers from home will be the distance from this point to this point. Yeah, this is home, and this is school. S for school, and H for home. The school is 19 kilometers from home. That means the distance from H to S is 19 kilometers. And we already know that from the junction, from home to the junction is 12 kilometers. Let's call this junction. J is the junction. Now, if you look at, okay, so that's it simply. Now, what's the question? How far is it from home? If the school is 19 kilometers from home, how far is it from the road junction rather? That means they want us to find the distance from J, which is the road junction, to school. That's it simply. So this illustration is just to make it clear to you. Now we can have, so that means we want to find this distance. Of course, we know that this is going to be a right angle here, because line HJ is perpendicular to line JS. If something goes directly east, it will be a straight line, and if something goes directly south, it's going to be a straight line. So HJ and JS will meet at a right angle. Now, so we want to find JS. Let's call that Y, and that simply means putting the question further down. Yeah, that means we are finding JS. So that means hypotenuse squared, which is 19 squared. HS is the hypotenuse of this triangle, of the triangle HJS. 19 squared equals Y squared plus 12 squared. And that simply means Y squared equals 19 squared minus 12 squared, which is 19 squared, that's 361. Of course, your diagram show your solution should be under the diagram. Yeah, let that be here. That's better put there. So 361 minus 12 squared, which is 144, and that's 217. That means Y equals square root of 217, which is 14.731, and that's approximately 14.73 kilometers. And we say therefore the distance, the school, how far is it from the road junction? The school is 14.73 kilometers from the road junction. From the road junction. And that's it simply. So the last one, which is number 12. Let's bring the question down. Let's see number 12. Number 12. Number 12. I'm sure we can see that. A palm wine tapper climbs to a point on a palm tree 9 meters above the ground. The palm tree is 9 meters above the ground. Let this be the palm tree, and this is the ground. Yeah, let that be the ground. This is the ground. 9 meters above the ground. That's a palm tree. He uses a ladder 10 meters long, which is leaning against the palm tree. Of course, that's going to look like this. The ladder leans. Let me draw this. Let's call this a ladder. It's 10 meters, and it leans against the palm tree. Calculate the distance of the foot of the ladder from the foot of the palm tree. This is the foot of the ladder. This is top of palm tree, foot of palm tree, and let me call P the foot of the ladder. And this is the distance from the foot of the palm tree to the foot of the ladder. Let me make that. Yeah, so the palm tree stands upright, so that angle is a perpendicular, so it's perpendicular to the ground, of course. Then there's a right angle at F. Now let's call that distance between the foot of the ladder, distance of the foot of the ladder from the foot of the palm tree, X. Let's call that X. Maybe I need to bring the question down a little. Yeah, let's call that distance X. Now that simply means 10 squared. 10 is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. 10 squared equals x squared plus 9 squared. And that simply means x squared equals 10 squared minus 9 squared, which means 100 minus 81, and that's 19. So x is therefore the square root of 19, and it's equal to square root of 19, which is 4.35359, and that's approximately 4.3636 meters to 2 decimal places. Therefore, the distance of the foot of the palm tree, of the foot of the ladder, from the foot of a palm tree. This is just labeling your answer. From the foot of the ladder, from the foot of the palm tree is 4.36 meters. Or you can simply say the foot of the ladder is 4.36 meters from the foot of the palm tree. The distance of the foot of the ladder from the foot of the palm tree is 4.36 meters. And that's it. Very, very simply. You see the questions on the left. You see the questions on the left of, on the same page as you go through the solutions. And I'm sure it's very, very understandable, and you will enjoy it. Just take your time, go through it, and make sure you get everything. Thank you very much, and see you in the next. Bye-bye.